The key message is that China and Germany should strengthen communication and cooperation, especially in light of today's complex international environment. President Xi says the current era is full of challenges and increasing risk. Unilateralism and protectionism pose a serious threat. He adds that no country can be immune from it. That is why China and Germany, two responsible major countries, should address these common challenges. The Chinese leader believes that one way to do this is to make the pie of China-Germany cooperation bigger, especially in emerging fields such as autonomous driving, new energy vehicles, artificial intelligence, and 5G. Xi also says that auto industry cooperation between the two countries is a good example of a win-win strategy. Top German car makers inked a series of deals last year in China. Volkswagen committed over $17 billion in research funds in China, in areas including e-mobility and autonomous driving. BMW has also joined hands with Great Wall Motors to produce electric cars. Moreover, President Xi says that China is opening its financial and service sectors, and German investments are welcomed. This is Merkel's 12th official trip to China. The German Chancellor says China is Germany's biggest trading partner, and her country would like to enhance coordination with China under the spirit of multilateralism and free trade. Earlier Friday, Merkel met with Chinese Premier Li Keqiang. The two met at the Great Hall of the People and attended a meeting of the Bilateral Economic Advisory Committee.
The demonstrations in Hong Kong have been carrying on for well over 2 months now, and many protesters still keep coming to the streets. Some radical activists in Hong Kong are calling for so-called independence for the city, which obviously shows traits of a color revolution. The manipulative hand behind these demands has emerged as the U.S. National Endowment for Democracy, or NED. The NED claims to be a non-governmental organization, or NGO. However, it was actually set up by an act of Congress and is funded primarily through an annual allocation from the U.S. government. As the co-founder of the organization Alan Weinstein said, "What we do today was carried out secretly by the CIA 25 years ago." Since the beginning of the 21st century, the NED has been unscrupulously fanning the flames of disorder in more than 100 countries and regions, including Venezuela, Ukraine, Myanmar, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, and Syria. It was declared an undesirable organization in Russia in 2015. It has been funding opposition forces in Hong Kong since 1995 through its subsidiary, the National Democratic Institute for International Affairs, NDI. It had provided assistance worth more than $3.95 million by the beginning of 2015. There is substantive evidence showing that the NED funded the illegal Occupy Central movement in Hong Kong in 2014. During the recent violence in the city, the NED colluded with local radical forces in an attempt to launch a color revolution, paralyze the SAR government, seize administrative power, and destroy the one country, two systems principle. Yet, according to a commentary released by China Central Television on Saturday, no matter how hard it tries to fan the flames of disorder, the NED's attempt to instigate a color revolution in Hong Kong is doomed to failure. China will not allow any activities to harm its national sovereignty, challenge the authority of the central government, undermine the basic law of Hong Kong SAR, or use Hong Kong as a base to destabilize and infiltrate the Chinese mainland. Hong Kong's 7 million residents will not just stand by and watch their home being dragged deep into an abyss of the type created in other lands by color revolutions. Hong Kong is China's Hong Kong. Should external forces like the NED continue to instigate chaos beyond the SAR government's control, Beijing will most definitely cut off any and all of the manipulative hands reaching out to Hong Kong, without hesitation and with all the means at its disposal.
For those who follow the latest in gizmos and gadgets, the announcement was expected. The latest from Chinese telecom giant Huawei was announced by CEO Richard Yu on Friday in Berlin.
Today I bring the new one, the new generation. It's the world's first 5G SoC. The revolutionary 5G SoC is a Kirin 990. It's so small, tiny size. It's smaller than my nail size. The most powerful 5G SoC chipset.
Huawei's homegrown Kirin 990 chipset with 5G capabilities is the update to last year's Kirin 980 and is set to power their cutting-edge foldable Mate X and Mate 30 Pro. For more power efficiency, the chip uses so-called extreme ultraviolet lithography to boost microprocessor speeds by up to 100 times. The Kirin 990 is also expected to improve graphics and produce clearer, crisper photos. Attendees also got a glimpse of the P30 Pro with new design colors and Android 10, an improved addition to the P30 series launched in March of this year.
This P30 series smartphone will set the industry's new benchmark for smartphone photography and performance.
Huawei, considered the world's #2 smartphone producer, has been setting industry standards for some time, but is facing political opposition. Their latest Mate 30 series may drop the Android operating system and Google Apps after the U.S. government banned U.S. companies from selling components to Huawei. So what do attendees of this year's IFA think of Huawei's new designs?
The camera is very good for me, and it is very hand feeling is very good, yeah, and also the speed is very quickly fast. I think if for the selfie, this one will be better. Because the camera is better than the iPhone.
They are crazy advanced and very high tech. I like them, and if I had to choose a new phone, it would probably be one of Huawei's. The competition on the market is very good, so yeah, I think Huawei is doing very well in this race.
Competitor Samsung also announced the release of their 5G-compatible Exynos 980 chipset at this year's IFA, which should make its debut in Samsung's upcoming new Galaxy S11. But the Kirin 990 is expected to hit the market first.
Despite concerns in some countries about Huawei's 5G infrastructure technology and an all-out ban in others, the telecoms giant continues to push forward with new technologies. Its flagship smartphone, the Mate 30 series, will be released in Munich, Germany on the 19th of September, along with the Kirin 990 chipset.
It's a full house, filled with seemingly anything and everything electronic from more than 1,800 exhibitors, such as Samsung, where visitors must stand in line all day to get their hands on the new foldable phone, the Galaxy Fold 5G. Others hover over the Galaxy Note 10. With so many players in the smartphone market, telecom pioneer Nokia has brought out a range of new phones in its Nokia Original series.
This is where our heritage is coming from. People know the brand. This is actually the tough. We can use, we can drop. This is our first ruggedized phone. We want to have that people thinking about Nokia and what we did. Durability, long-lasting batteries, 27 days battery time.
But for those who must stay connected, the 2720 Flip comes complete with 4G technology. IFA offers everything from vacuums and hair dryers to big screen TVs and drones.
Now, these trade shows can be rather subjective. What's cool for one person is not necessarily cool for another. Something I've stumbled across that I find quite cool is this unit right here from Samsung. It's called the Air Dresser. Looks like a refrigerator, a closet even, but when you open the door and look inside, it's actually a washing machine and steam iron machine. You put your clothes inside, you close the door, you go off to do something else, and you come back and your laundry is done. Goodbye to those hefty dry cleaning bills. Perfect for my household at least.
Items on display at IFA range from the obvious to the not so obvious. Varam launched its pet fitness only 3 months ago, but has already found success in the US, South Korea, and Japan.
Das ist ein Smart Roboter.
This is a smart robot for entertaining pets like little dogs and cats. If you leave your pets alone at home, they feel much more comfortable. They're not bored and can play with the robot. There are also little snacks it drops so that the pet is encouraged to play.
Varam is now hoping to enter the European market. That's also what brought Hong Kong's Artro Digital to IFA. The company launched its LED display technology less than a year ago.
We are mainly working with clients in Asia at the moment, like leading brands like Lancome, like Aston Martin, like Pandora, mainly for their retail display. We also do a lot of innovative events or exhibitions.
Just like a futuristic film, technology has infiltrated almost every aspect of our lives. IFA is a good indicator of what the future holds. The Global Technology Show continues in the German capital for a few more days.